Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I hope you are having a great day today. This is Muhammad Imran. I welcome you all to my channel. Today we will discuss subject and predicate as a research tool in discourse analysis. This lecture is fruitful for both types of learners. First, those who want to conduct the research in discourse analysis and want to use subject and predicate as a research tool. Second, those who are interested in learning English grammar and want to know how subject and predicates are used in a sentence. So the first part of this lecture will focus on subject and predicate, while the second part aims to discuss subject and predicate as a research tool in discourse analysis. Let's begin and learn subject and predicate with Muhammad Imran. So this is Grammar Interlude 2. In Grammar Interlude 1, we discuss deixis as a research tool and fill in the gap as a research tool. So to understand Grammar Interlude 1, you have to watch my previous lecture. In this lecture, the focus is subject and predicate. Subject. All languages in the world are organized grammatically around the basic structure of subject and predicate. So it means that all languages which are spoken or which are written around the world, so there are two important notions you have to remember. One is subject and one is predicate. But in all languages, subject and predicates are used differently. Somewhere we will find that subject will use after the verb in some languages, and in some languages we will see that the subject will use before the verb. Like in English sentence structure, we notice that subject all the time comes before the verb, but not all the time that it is the structure for all languages. Different languages may have different structures. Languages have different ways of indicating what the subject of a sentence is. Some use special marks, cases on the ends of a noun to indicate when the noun is a subject. For example, that example is from Latin language pure, which means a boy. It's a subject in Latin. When it is direct object, so then we say purum. You can see, so there are special cases as a subject and as an object. Note in English, he for subject and him for object. So we have here in English, we have he as a subject case, and here we have him as an object case. But in Latin, we have pure as a subject case and purum as an object case. So other endings are used for other grammatical roles beyond subject and object. Subject-verb agreement. By subject-verb agreement, we mean that the verb must agree with the subject you are using. For example, if you are using a singular subject, you must use a singular verb. And if you are using a plural subject, you must use a plural verb. For example, in English, if you are using a singular subject like she, you must use is. But if you are using they, a plural subject, you must use a plural verb are. Let's discuss it. In English, we use word order to indicate what the subject is and what the object is by placing the subject before the verb and object after the verb. Not in all languages. But in English, we recognize subject because it comes before the verb. And we recognize object as it comes after the verb. Furthermore, the subject agrees with main verb in the present tense, as in the girl leaves today. So here you can see that the girl is a singular subject. So, and here I use leaves. The verb is also a singular one. Here the verb agrees with the subject, the girls. But if I say that the girl leave today, then the verb will not agree with the subject, the girl. So singular subject is using here present tense verb. And the girls leave today. Here we have plural subject, the girls. So we are using the plural verb and that is leave. So plural subject, present tense and verb is used here. Now the verb to be agree with the subject in both present and past. The girl is good. You can see singular subject and singular verb is. And the girls are good. So plural subject and plural verb are. The girl was good and the girls were good. You can see the girl was good and the girls were good. So it means that the verb must agree with the subject you are using. Subject, verb, object. Not all languages have this pattern. If we talk about like Urdu, so in Urdu we have subject, object and verb pattern. And in English we have subject, verb, object. There are languages which use object, subject and verb pattern. And there are languages which use verb, subject and object pattern. So it means that different languages have different structures of subject and predicates. But all languages have subject and predicate. They are organized in different ways. In a sentence, a verb links the subject, which is all the time a noun or noun phrase, to other elements. So what is the role of a verb? A verb links a subject to other elements. So what are other elements? Other elements may be object. For example, Mary loves the man. Here you can see this is a verb, loves. So the verb loves link the subject Mary with what? With the object the man. Or the verb may links the subject with the complement. For example, Mary thinks that the boy left home. You can see here that the verb thinks. It links the subject Mary with the complement that the boy left home. Or prepositional phrase, or a verb may also link a subject with the preposition phrase. For example, Mary went to the park. You can see went is a verb. And here went links the subject Mary, which is a noun, with the prepositional phrase to the park. Mary saw the man in the park. It's also saw is a verb. Mary is a subject, which is a noun. So the verb saw links the Mary with the man in the park. We can see prepositional phrase. Or other things, e.g., the students elected John president, where president is called a predicate nominal. So the verb to be is called the copula and links subject to a noun or noun phrase. For example, Mary is a woman. So here is a to be verb is also called a copula verb, which links the subject with the noun or a pronoun. So Mary is the oldest woman. An adjective or adjective phrase. So Mary is tall and Mary is very tall for a woman. So Mary is a woman and Mary is the oldest woman. So oldest woman would be the adjective or adjective phrase. And Mary is tall, so tall is again adjective. And Mary is very tall, so again you can see very, it is an adverb which modifies the adjective tall for a woman. So then we can summarize that in a sentence, a verb links the subject to other elements. So subject is all the time a noun or noun phrase. And other elements may be object, maybe complement, maybe adverbial, maybe adjective, or maybe a noun. So then we have subject, we have verb, and we have object. We have subject, we have verb, we have complement. We have subject, we have verb, we have adverbial. So subject all the time it comes before the verb, and other elements then come after the verb. Predicate. The predicate is the verb and anything following it that the verb links to the subject. So then predicate is a verb and anything that is linked with a verb. For example, if I say I teach, so here I is subject and teach is a predicate. Or if I say I teach English, so I is a subject and teach English is a predicate. So verb plus other elements all are called the predicate. Below I have underlined the predicates. Mary loves the man. You can see that loves the man is a predicate. So verb and any other thing which are linked with the verb. You can say that then a predicate can be a single word or a predicate can be more than one word. Mary saw the man in the park. So saw in the park, saw the man in the park, all this is called predicate. A verb and the man in the park, other element which are linked with the verb. Mary is the oldest woman in the university. So is the oldest woman in the university is a predicate, while Mary is a subject. The young woman gave the boy a gift yesterday. So gave the boy a gift yesterday is a predicate. And the young woman then is a subject. So you can see that a subject can be a single word and a predicate can be a single word. A subject can be more than one word and a predicate can be more than one word. Mary has a hat on her hat. So has a hat on her hat is called a predicate. So Mary is single word, Mary single in sentence 1, 2, 3. Mary is used as a single word. And sentence 4, the young woman. So here the subject is used as two-word subject. And the last one again, it is one-word subject. And in all example we use predicates are used not one word but more than one word. But for predicate, verb is necessary and mandatory. And other elements are not mandatory. So verb, that is verb which forms a predicate, right? Other elements would not form a predicate, but verb will form a predicate. So verb plus other elements then is called a predicate. Subject. The subject of a sentence is what we are talking about, and we call it the topic of the sentence. So in a sentence we have a subject, we have a verb, and we have other elements. So the subject then is called the topic of a sentence because it is the thing that we are talking about. So the subject is the center of attention, the point around which information is organized. So all the informations are organized around the subject, which is the topic. So the predicate is what we are saying about it. So the predicate gives information about the subject. Very much important and relevant things you have to understand that we have two things in a sentence. One is the subject, which is called the topic, which is the center of the sentence, right? Or which is the point around which information is organized. And one is predicate, what we are saying about it, what we are talking about the subject. So the predicate gives information about the subject. Then the predicate gives information about the subject or about the topic. So the topic is center, is very much important. So then predicate is information and a subject is the topic. So topic plus information. Topic. Thus, if I say, Stanford admitted my daughter, I had chosen Stanford as the topic, center of attention, and the point around which I am organizing the information in the sentence. If, on the other hand, I say, my daughter was admitted to Stanford, I have chosen my daughter as topic, center of attentions, and point around which I am organizing informations in the sentence. So the two sentences say much the same thing but organize the information differently. Thus, the topic is the center of attention for a discourse analyst. And it is very, very important for a discourse analyst to understand how the topic is used, right? Because the topic is the center of the attention for the audience. You can see here that Stanford is used as the subject and it is the topic. And then admitted by my daughter, this is a predicate. So predicate informations are given in predicate. So these informations are about the Stanford, right? So here Stanford is used as a subject. It is the topic. So again, in the second example, we can see if I say, my daughter was admitted to Stanford. Here, my daughter is the topic. It is the subject and was admitted to Stanford. So was admitted to Stanford is predicate, and then here informations are organized in predicate. So these informations are given then about my daughter. There's a huge difference between these two sentences. The two sentences may seem to you same, but they are different. Because in one sentence, the focus of attention is Stanford, right? So all like the importance, or you can say the attention is given to Stanford, an institution, while in the second sentence, all the attentions and focus is given to my daughter. So my daughter was admitted to Stanford. You can see, so my daughter, it comes in foreground. It is foregrounded. And Stanford, it goes to background. And here Stanford, it comes to, it is in foregrounding. And then my daughter, it is like backgrounded. So it is very important to understand that which thing is given importance, because the topic is the thing what we are talking about. And then in predicate, informations are given about the topic. So in this sentence, these informations are given about the Stanford, and in this case, my daughter was admitted to Stanford. So these informations are given about my daughter. So here the focus of attention is my daughter, and here the focus of attention is Stanford. So now you can see that how like it makes a huge difference when you change the topic, when you change the subject. So sometime like very you can see that clever people, when they write or when they speak, you have to pay attention that how they organize subject, topic, and how they organize predicate or information. So we will discuss this in detail in coming slides. Here we have further elaboration about the topic. Once a speaker has introduced a topic, if he or she wants to keep talking about it, the topic is referred back to a pronoun, as in Stanford admitted my daughter. So they are lucky to have her. So they is used for the administration of Stanford, right? My daughter was admitted by Stanford and she is really thrilled. You can see that she refers back to my daughter. So a good deal of everyday speech is made up of an utterances with a full noun phrase subject followed by a number of utterances whose subjects are pronoun referring back to the full noun phrase. In this way, speakers can chain on a topic and keep talking about it by using pronouns which refer back to the noun. Now this slide is very important and very interesting. Speakers choose subjects strategically to set up how listeners should organize information in their heads and how listeners should view whatever the speaker is talking about. You see, then it is in the hand of a speaker or it is in the hand of a writer. How a writer or how a speaker chooses a subject strategically, because whatever they want to present it to the audience, and they want that the audience should view the things the way they present to them, right? Like, my daughter was admitted to Stanford, okay, or Stanford admitted my daughter. On the one hand, you say Stanford admitted my daughter, right? It is in the hand of a speaker or a writer. When you say the Stanford admitted my daughter, so the focus of attention is the topic, the Stanford. And when you say my daughter was admitted to Stanford, then the focus of attention is the subject, my daughter. It creates a huge difference. So then they keep in the mind of the audience or the readers like the thing the way they want. You can see how listeners should view whatever the speaker is talking about, how the speaker presents something, and then the audience also perceive it. For example, in the data we saw in section 1.4, we saw the following sentences. Mary Washington, who is our curriculum coordinator here, had a call from Sarah at Woodson. The speaker could have said instead, Sarah, who is at Woodson, had called Mary Washington. In these two examples, the subjects are used strategically by the speaker. In the first sentence, when we say Mary Washington had a call from Sarah in Woodson. So you see that the topic or the focus of attention is Mary Washington, right? She received a call, had a call from Sarah. So then it is the subject, right? The focus of attention, and then had a call from Sarah, which is the predicate, and it's information about the topic Mary Washington. In the second example, like the speaker could have said instead, Sarah had called Mary Washington, right? Then Sarah would be the subject, the focus of attention, and had called Mary Washington would be information about the Sarah. But here you see that Sarah, it goes to background, and Mary Washington, it comes to foreground, or it is foregrounded. And here in the second example, Sarah is foregrounded and Mary Washington is backgrounded. So this is very important, because here if the speaker could have said, if the speaker had said Sarah had called Mary Washington, then the focus of attention would be Sarah. And Sarah, who is only coordinator, while Mary Washington, she may be the honor, or she may have a higher position. So due to the higher position, the attention is given to Mary Washington. And due to the lower status, here the attention is not given in the first sentence to Sarah, because Sarah, it is used in as a predicate. So this is very important and very interesting to understand how the subject is used, because all informations are surrounded by the subject. So thank you so much. It was all about this lecture, and in coming lecture we will develop a tool for subject and predicate, and here we will discuss the importance of choosing subject and predicate. So keep watching and enjoy learning with Muhammad Imran.